Professor Ishak Oloyede, JAMB registrar, there more of a sober reflection or tearfully apologizing for what he says is a system error. However, the post put out by JAMB on its official X handle has been criticized by many Nigerians for using the phrase, "Man proposes, God opposes," in reference to the system glitch that saw over 379,000 candidates fail to score below average. Now we are joined by Mr. Zaria Nathan, virtually from Makudi this morning, Benue State. Mr. Nathan, good morning to you. Well, I can see, but whilst I try to get the audio, I hope you can hear me clearly. Now, in reacting to the...
thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure. Now, what's your first reaction to the apology from the JAMB registrar, Professor Oloyede?
The network is so much toxic, I can barely hear you, sir.
My question was, what's your reaction to Professor Oloyede's apology to Nigerians following the JAMB glitch? You still can't hear me? Well,
yes, I think I can hear you now.
Did you get my question though? I said, what's your reaction having listened to Professor Oloyede's apology?
Thank you so much. I think the first thing I would like to say is to commend JAMB for a great job they have been doing, and how this year ended. It would be unfair to say they have not been doing their best. I could see passion, I could see commitment. They have really been doing well. If you look at his analysis, for instance, he has portrayed, he has even brought out some secrets that ordinarily shouldn't come on board. He has tried to explain to us how JAMB executes its assignment to ensure that they bring out the best. They have a lot of technical testing processes. They take mock. All these are quality assurance protocols to ensure that they always come out with the best. But this year, amidst of that, the error still happened. So I want to commend them. It's natural, although we don't condone it. I also appreciate all who came up boldly to protest and to ensure that what happened don't happen again. So that's my reaction to Professor
Now, the other angle to the conversation is looking at the sample size. You're a researcher. You also have a PhD in measurement and evaluation. Over 1.9 million candidates registered for the 2025 UTME, out of which the earlier results suggested that 1.5 million failed to score above average. Now, if you deduct this 379,000 thereabouts that would be given a second chance, does this still measure for what is now termed mass failure, or what's the sample size in terms of performance in your judgment?
To me, the issue of mass failure, if you look at it very well, you will discover that the error actually happened, but if the result can be retaken, it can change the course of things, actually. It can change the course of things. And so JAMB really came out with a prompt reaction to what happened. Within few days, they were able to run their computers and gather as much people to ensure that the error was culminated. Fortunate enough, I'm doing my PhD research in on how to identify errors and how to maximize the ability of tests. And I realized that uh, errors can come in at any time. It can be from the rater, it can be from the occasion, it can be from the items, and with all the measures taken, for errors to still occur from their technical staff going to the technical machines, I think the candidates can have a leverage. Although I still stand to say that some candidates may not perform optimally the way they ought to again. It may still have a disadvantage on the part of the candidate. Taking an exam and asking you to take the exam again, that spirit is no longer there. So it's really not too good. But I think we can change the course of things from the general outcome of the results.
Now, why I'm asking because of the sample sizes that some parents and caregivers are calling for an outright cancellation. They want all 1.9 million candidates to be given a second chance. Apart from those who passed thereabouts, do you think that this would be graciously considered in terms of what's happening?
No. You see, what happened? If you see what JAMB did, they went over the entire result. They went over the entire result, did a correlation, and discovered with what they had earlier and what they have now, and discovered only the centers involved. JAMB is a standard exam body. Standard, I mean, they have uniformity in their modus operandi, in the way they conduct their affairs. And so, for JAMB to do a strong assessment, come up with only centers that are involved. You that your center is not involved, you have no business calling for the cancellation. So it's only students who are involved. I think this is where we should focus on. So the entire sample size is not really the issue. The issue is those involved. They have not been identified. So in searching for errors, when we search for errors, we now discover those places we have errors, and then sometimes there is something we call generalizability theory, where we bring it to place, and when we discover their errors, those areas we work on and we carry out a dependability or decision study, which JAMB is trying to do now. So what JAMB is trying to do now is areas that are affected. Let's work it, and not the entire exam process. I don't really subscribe to that. It is really out of place to call for the entire cancellation of the exam. And,
Mr. Nathan, I quite agree with you there. Like you rightly pointed out, these centers have been numbered at 157, particularly in Lagos and the southeast.
Yes.
Talking about technical glitches, system glitches, should it be more on the system type that were used in those centers? Do you think is a system type error?
No. What JAMB had was not the system error we usually have. If you listen to Professor Ishak very well, you realize that there was a first time while preparing for the exam, they had their first shot and they discovered there was no shifting at first. There was no shifting of the items. That's one of the things they realized. And in the Lagos Center, they realized there was an omission. There were omissions. So they fixed that up. Then what really happened? The patch was not applied in some centers. That was what happened. The patch was not applied in some centers, and those were the only centers involved. So it was just negligence on the part of the technical staff involved to ensure that all the patches were worked on. So he didn't send the patch to all of the servers. So He just sent a few of them. So those ones that were not sent were the ones affected. So it's not the usual. It's just negligence. You're supposed to send to all these servers. Now you now send some, and then you felt you have sent all of them. You let some. That is what culminated into the error we are talking about today.
Now, I also like your evaluation on the subject of exam preparations by candidates. Initial reactions to the news about this mass failure was that the youths of this day are more distracted by the social media age and are not paying more attention to studies and exam preparation. In the event of this rude wake-up call, how do you suggest that candidates, with the supervision of parents and caregivers and even teachers, can better prepare for computer text examinations, much like is in the UTME?
Okay, I think you're right. What our young people do these days is not. It's really traumatizing. I remember I had to shut down the television in our living room just to ensure my younger sister prepares very well. She was very angry with me, but at the end of the day, her result is not too good. And if it's concern for the family, we go for the best. So for you not to be among the best is an issue to us. I think for me, I remember retaking exams. Retaking exams can, to me, there's something in test and measurement we call test wiseness. I think for the people going in again, is an opportunity to score high because the test wiseness is there. They have taken the exam before, and many of these questions will still come up again. So test wiseness have given them an upper hand for them to perform better. So they have a better chance for those retaking the exam, and for parents whose children are to retake the exam. I think they have a better opportunity. Given the nature of test wiseness and all of that, so it's better for them. It's a more better opportunity now.
I like this true life experience you shared with us, talking about the role you played in getting your sister prepared for the exams. Quite sadly, a 19-year-old girl in Lagos did not have the benefit of having an elder brother like you. She resulted to sadly taking her life after she discovered she failed to score above 200. This is one of these sad cases recorded off the back of this 2025 UTME. I don't know what your message to encourage certain students who do not score above 200 in the first attempt. She's just 19 and quite sadly didn't think she had a second chance at it and couldn't handle the loss that way. What's your advice in this regard?
Oh, that one is so unfortunate. So touching. I feel so bad hearing this. I want to use this opportunity to encourage the younger ones who, peradventure, couldn't make it up to the grades they were up to. For those who are to retake, I want to say congratulations in advance. And for those whose case have not been considered, who there were no errors in their own centers and they will not be retaking, I want to encourage them. I think JAMB has really tried to beat down. If you remember the days me and you took JAMB, the cutoff mark was 180. At some point, their courses 200, 250. But you realize these days, the standard had been lowered to a large extent to make sure that many students don't scale out of admission. So it's not the end of the world actually. What I would advise, go take up a training or any skill acquisition. In fact, because when I go to school, I discovered that for you to have a skill before getting into school is a better. You have a better opportunity of doing well than for somebody who just graduated and got admission into the university. I had the opportunity to graduate, get admission immediately, and I later realized that the people who stayed out used that 1 year, did handwork, and went to school with something doing. They were far better. They did better than myself. So I want to give them the courage by saying it's a better opportunity now. You step up your game, get a handbook, do use within this 1 year, put in your best, and you come out. When you get admission on this by next year, you realize that you're going to school not just as a dependent, but you have something to do and to support yourself and midst of whoever is sponsoring you. So it's another point of congratulations to them. It's a good thing for them also. There's nothing to take yourself down to the point of becoming demoralized. Please encourage yourself. There's a better opportunity out there.
Now, the other angle to the conversation is JAMB this day also has almost an automatic offer of admission based on your preferences in the tertiary institutions chosen while filling the form. And even before taking post UTME at your chosen university, there's a letter of offer of admission. However, there are some schools of thought that are proposing an extension of the 1-year validity of your JAMB results owing to the current economic realities. Would you subscribe to that? Should JAMB results be extended beyond a 1-year validity period?
I think this has been plugged again and again in the past. I really don't know why our leaders are being complacent, swinging into action regarding this issue. I think perhaps it may be as a result of funds. They feel if they are to retake, they pay again and they raise funds from them. But I think that's not the best. Even it can be for 3 years, because if I write an exam and I pass, I hope they need to retake to ask me to retake the exam, not to make it look like I didn't know what I did the last time. In fact, the exams that myself I did during my undergraduate, if you give me now, I may not do better than what I did before. I may have to prepare again, perhaps, before I can do better. So if someone takes an exam, he passes, of course you should give him a benefit of that for at least 2 years. So that will help a lot. I strongly recommend this. I strongly recommend this.
Now, the other angle to it is that beyond JAMB, WAEC is contemplating adopting computer-based tests for its future examinations. They're also having to be cautious because they don't want a clash in timetable between JAMB and WAEC. Do you also subscribe to WAEC adopting CBT exams going forward?
WAEC, I don't subscribe to WAEC going for CBT exams. If you go into testing, there are forms of testing, okay, and each of these forms have certain implications, okay. When you give somebody a multiple choice exam, the one JAMB adopts, where you can be scored with either 4 or 5 options. You're just allowed to tick. We call it OBJ. The layman call it OBJ. Now, if you are subscribing to a multiple choice exam, there is a level of there is what we call carelessness can come in. We can also get guessing. Guessing can also come in. So you cannot completely ascertain some degree of knowledge or some mastery of knowledge of the candidate. Now, when you go in for an essay type of exam or essay form of exam, candidates are allowed to put to pen or put to paper that which they know. They are free to express themselves, and they are rated based on what they have put down. Now, these two is what WAEC put together. They assess their students based on multiple choice items and based on essay items. If you put this together, you get a holistic understanding of what the candidate's ability is. Now, for JAMB, WAEC now also wanting to join the CBT. I think that will be a lower standard. I'm not saying why it has a lower standard by using CBT to administer multiple choice items, but I think the standard why it has maintained should continue. Is very, very important.
Now, in terms of preparedness going forward, it's on CBT test centers, and before JAM conducts its own mock, do you think that schools should, as a matter of policy, give candidates more opportunity to have CBT mock exams as even part of exam models within their school curriculum?
Oh, yes, it's very important, very, very important. That mock exam, like I was saying, there's something in the test we call test wiseness. It's a situation whereby a candidate has an idea that gives him an edge for a new tester. Okay, somebody who is coming into an exam newly, there is that phobia. There is that, how do I do this one? How do I go about this? So someone taking an exam, someone taking a mock exam gives him a better advantage. Just like I was talking about those who have to retake this JAMB again, there is a level of test wiseness that we have. They are not going in as zombies, the way we call them, a fresher. They have this understanding before. Something you have done, go back there again. They have done it, they will do it again. There's that understanding that they have. So I will strongly advise WAEC should go ahead to strengthen what they have earlier and continue with it. It's very important.
Well, I must thank you for coming on the program to share your thoughts. We'll be keeping in touch with you, and hopefully, once a date is set for the examination with retakes in these 157 centers and the results come out, we'll be back here again to look at the analysis of the performance margins and if this 379,000 plus will be able to be removed from the initial 1.5 million mass failure beyond 200.
I'm sure their results will be far better. Their results will be far better. They'll make us proud.
So you're hoping that they'll take this time to prepare them harder and at least having a second chance, not let their parents and caregivers down.
Very well. At this point, they have opportunity to go and check. This one that I missed this time around. I won't miss it. Like I said earlier, they are not bringing different items altogether. They are not bringing. When I talk about items, I'm talking of questions. They are not bringing different items.
You don't think JAMB sets an entirely different question? JAMB has different paper types for the MCQs. You don't think that they will create an entirely different question from the syllabus that was used to set the types that this students sat for?
There's something they may give you the same. Some may think it's a different question, but they are giving you the same question. The ability level. That's what we call ability level in items. So it's the same question. That means they have the same ability level. So for you to take an exam, then they bring the same exam with the same ability level. It's a high level of test wiseness. So I am so sure when we come back for the analysis, we will see that these candidates have performed better than what they did before. So they will add up to the number of classes that we're going to have for this year.
Well, I must thank you, Zaria Nathan, for taking our time to join us on the program this morning. We appreciate you. Do enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much, sir. God bless you. Thank you for having me.
God bless you
Have
too.
a wonderful day too.
You too.